There's no escaping the nukes. You can't run. You can't hide. So there's a cheery message before we get into the news about Fallout 76. We've got a lot to go over, guys, including some new updates about the stress test. Could we be seeing a stress test ahead of the beta on PS4 and PC? Well, we've got an official response about that one. And then, of course, remember, there's going to be additional stress tests for Xbox One. Coming up, I'll have that news for you guys when that time arrives. Plus, it looks like fans are disappointed in the fact that you cannot respec your special abilities in Fallout 76. Of course, you're going to have a wide variety of perk cards that you can basically interchange in the game. But when it comes to your special abilities, it's a big issue for many of you that you can't go in there and just respec for a certain cost. So we're going to talk about that. Plus, some new information about perk cards and also scrapping why it's so very valuable to do in Fallout 76. But welcome back, my fellow Vault Dwellers and Wasteland Wonders. We've got a lot to go over, so let's get busy. Remember, if you are new to the channel, welcome aboard. Smack that subscribe button, turn on the bell notification icon, and remember, follow me on Facebook. I stream practically every single day. Would love to have you guys out there. All the links are in the description below. But let's do this, shall we? So, about that stress test, as you guys know, there's going to be more invites for the Fallout 76 stress test coming up here. In the future, we're going to be getting another stress test. Now, we got a reply here from Nathan who says, again, no love for PS4 or PC Bethesda fans. Real nice at Bethesda. And Pete Hines of Bethesda responded saying, the Xbox test is first, so naturally they need to stress test there first. If they do it over for other platforms, it would be similarly in advance of the full beta. So he's not saying a stark no to the fact that they would be doing early stress tests on PS4 and PC. So keep that in mind that it could be potentially possible that we would be seeing stress tests ahead of this beta for PS4 and PC. If there's any dates that drop about that, I will let you guys know. And also on how you could potentially enter this possible stress test for PS4 and PC. So look out for that. All right, let's talk about some of the controversy surrounding, the ability, not being able to, respec your character in Fallout 76. So this was posted out on Reddit. It's the trending Reddit post right now on Fallout 76 Reddit. It says Octavius Bangwolf says the need for a special respec feature. Got a lot of responses here, and the majority of responses are saying that you guys want the ability in some way, even if it's costly, to respec your character. Now, he goes on to say this, I've been trying to plan my character build for a while now and have been thinking about this a lot lately. I'm not sure if this is some sort of petition or just an attempt to officially establish the idea as something that is needed for this game, but I wanted to give my thoughts on why I think respeccing is absolutely necessary. Here are a few points of discussion, and this is a great post because it kind of mirrors some of my concerns. This is a concern of my own about not being able to respec your character. Do you really want to spend hundreds of hours or even like 100 hours, whatever, building a character and then, not being able to respec them in any way, shape, or form to kind of perfect them? Let me know what you guys make of this. But he goes on to say this. Number one, there has not been a lot of transparency, concerning what perk cards exist within the game. We don't have a comprehensive list, and the one we do have is limited because we've had to gather info from screenshots and gameplay clips. Even then, the effects and names of these perk cards have changed from video to video. To make matters worse, it appears we are forced to distribute all of our special points before being able to see what cards we have to choose from, and are unable to see all the cards for each stat until much later levels due to how the amount of cards increase with each level up. How am I to effectively plan how I want to distribute my special perks when I don't have any inkling of what perks are available or what perks will become available as I level up? And yes, I totally mirror these concerns. I think honestly, you should be able to see the perk cards kind of laid out per special, grayed out. until you've obtained them at the very least, so you can kind of plot and plan your character much like any other RPG, much like what you had in, previous Fallout games. You can kind of plan your characters ahead of time. Next up, he says, it simply doesn't make any sense in an online game to expect someone to invest potentially hundreds of hours into a character and be forced to start completely over if they misplace points or make some other mistakes with their build. Single player is one thing, as you're on your own and you can experience the game in different ways depending on how you choose to play. Fallout 4 is sort of an exception, as you could eventually have all the perks in the game if you put in the time. However, the majority of your interaction is going to be with other players in 76, so none of that is really a factor. Not everyone is the type of player that wants to have multiple character builds for roleplay purposes or whatever else, nor does everyone have the time for it. I don't want to reach level 65, be unsatisfied with how my character has turned out, and have to do it all over again just to try something different. And yeah, I always go back to the thing is time. Time is always a precious resource to all of us. And considering a lot of us are either in college, school, or at work. And I don't know. Let me know what you guys think of this. It's very tough. I really do want, personally, a respec option in the game. He says this, and he brings up a really good point here. He says, once again, this is an online game. As a result, there will no doubt be some balancing that has to be done in terms of how perks function and how specials affect gameplay. They'll even be adding perks along the way. So what if I build towards a certain playstyle that gets nerfed into the ground or otherwise handicapped, and I'm just stuck with a GIMP character? Doesn't sound like a very fun time to me. That is such a very good point there. Yeah, if they start patching stuff, nerfing certain things, and then, making certain things OP in the game, then yeah, you're probably going to want to experiment with respecting your character without completely abandoning what you've already done and have to start over. So I can see some of the issues here. I hope that they consider patching the game, honestly, my opinion here, with the ability to respect your character. Now, on the flip side of this, before some of you are like, well, I like this system, I have heard that some of you do like this system and that you do prefer it to be kind of like a set class. This is your class, this is your role, this is what you're going to be set with, and it's kind of more traditional in that sense. So I can also see that sort of argument as well with this sort of system. Let me know, though, what do you guys make of this? Do you want something that where you can respec or not? Or are you just fine with the system as is? All right, let's talk about a lot more details here, including scrapping junk and perk cards. So this was the question by Dixon, who says, I was wondering if scrapping junk is viable, or do we just store the junk away to craft stuff? And Pete Hines of Bethesda responds saying, yes, scrapping junk is very important. Keeps the weight of what you're carrying down. So if you're having over-encumbrance problems in this game, you're going to want to go ahead and scrap your stuff. It's super important in that regard, because that's always an issue sometimes in these Fallout games, is over-encumbrance. So just remember that. It's not just going to be for crafting. Of course, it's going to be super important, but also keeping your weight managed as you go and roam throughout the open world. Next up, we have Audio Samurai, who says, hey, hoping you can answer a question I have about perk card packs in Fallout 76. Do they scale with my character? For example, if I save all my packs to open at level 50, would the cards be more likely to be the ones that have level requirements closer to my level? Excellent question. And Pete Hines says, not that I'm aware of. No reason to sit on them. So there's your answer on that one. No reason to really hoard those, perk packs and stuff like that, and then open them at a way later time, unless you make a YouTube video where you're like, I'm opening up 100 perk pack cards right now after 50 hours of play or something like that. That would be hilarious. All right, let's go to the top comments. Remember, leave a comment down below, because I read through almost all of them for real. Some of them are hilarious. Great comments this time around. Let's dive in. So the first top comment comes from American Prepper, who says the first rule of Fallout 76 stress test is you don't talk about the Fallout 76 stress test. LOL. Love the Fight Club reference there. yeah, again, remember, keep stuff under NDA if you are invited to the Fallout 76 stress test. One of the punishments that they're doing for leakers is they're omitting, I guess, certain days from them playing the actual beta. Like, they're going to be late to their beta experience, which would suck, you know? So it's wise just to, you know, keep your mouth shut. Alright, so, Mr. Folding Chair says, I love how the Red Dead comparisons have started to disappear. I get you want to buy a cowboy game with shrinking horse testicles, but can you keep it to yourself? See, if the Brahmin don't have shrinking testicles in this game, I'm returning my copy of Fallout 76. I'm going to be making sure that they do shrink to compete with Red Dead Redemption 2, or this game is just... it's doomed, man. I'm telling you. Alright, next one comes from Joe M, who says, going off of opinions from the stress test is population biased. The sort of folks to get into that are probably already deeply invested in their own opinions before they play. I believe it's called the foot in the door technique. They've already put something into it, so many will likely subconsciously convince themselves they like it rather than to confront the dissonance of a bad investment. So I do get what you are saying there. It's basically hype overload, and I think that it is wise to kind of get past that feeling of hype, you know what I mean? And then play it again, and then again, and see if the experience can persist in the long term as well. Can it be fun, you know, in a couple days, in a week, how about a month, and then 2 months? That's what this game's really going to be about, if it can survive in the long term. And Bethesda is very hopeful that they can do that by keeping it updated consistently and constantly. But I totally get where you're coming from. You got to get past that feeling of hype and excitement. And see through that for sure. And of course, their connection to the Fallout franchise as a whole. You know, many people will be going into this game having that major connection to all of those amazing experiences that they had in previous games. And that's going to carry through, of course, with this game. I'm crossing my fingers. All I'm really worried about right now, honestly, is, of course, this, in my opinion, lack of NPCs and that frame rate. Like, the frame rate, the server, they have to be running solid, or it's just not going to be an enjoyable experience. The game is going to be buried under technical issues. So, crossing my fingers that they get that figured out through all these stress tests and stuff. Alright, the Scout Gamer says, I hope that the cosmetics you can buy aren't too much freaky, because my friend wants to run around as a naked cowboy while singing Country Roads and Take Me Home. Yeah, see, I've been looking at this game, and that's another thing I've been kind of worried about and on the fence about as well. Hopefully it's not like too wacky with some of the characters in this game. I think that can kind of break immersion. But at the same time, if you roll up on a squad like a clown squad or something like that, you know these guys are probably psychos, so you want to stay away. So there's potential in this being really fun and funny, but also I think that it has to be balanced. So I get what you're saying there for sure. There has to be a balance with everything. Alright guys, there's the latest around Fallout 76. Again, I really want your opinions about if you want to see Respeccing or not in Fallout 76. How important is that to you? We'll see what happens with that, but it sounds like you're going to have to be a little bit careful with your character build. I think I might start out as a jack of all trades with this one and just have fun with it, and then have a character that's PvP focused. We'll see what happens with it, but at the end of the day, I'm just going to explore, have fun, have a blast. But I do hope that they do have the ability to see all those perk cards kind of grayed out, so you can kind of lay out a plan at the very least. Alright, so thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for more, and I will see you guys soon enough in the Wasteland. Take care, everyone.